Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Random. Egberto Willis, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We're going to have a great show for you today. It's going to be a little bit different today. We only have one video to show you today, and it's actually a live video that I'm going to do as well. But look, before we get started, I want to welcome everybody aboard. Welcome aboard. Of course, we have our researcher, Michael Rudnin. Welcome aboard. Paul Fleming Sr., ATL checking in. Welcome aboard, Michael. Paul Fleming, welcome aboard AVQ. Bruce Pollard, did any jurists come in? Not yet. Patricia E. Forker, welcome aboard. She says, good afternoon. Eric Hayes, ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo? Welcome to everybody today. Let me know, guys, if you hear any issues. I kind of found out what's going on with the, when we get those drop packets. It has to do with a combination of Chrome and having issues with CPU usage, but we're still trying to figure out how we're going to mitigate that, whether increasing, well, we'll talk about that later on. Anyhow, Michael Rudnin, as usual, he starts out with some good folks, and you know what? Michael is giving me some instructions. Michael says, Egberto, please read these three out in full. Posting them on YouTube, Twitter, will hit the 200 character cap several times over, so I am on FB for just a minute to post them. You are sacrificing to get the information out. E2247 says, hello, relatives. Hello, E2247. Hey, guys, guess what I just did? I just did E23andMe to figure out what kind of DNA and all that kind of stuff I had, because my daughter convinced me to do it, so that I guess she just wanted to see that, yay, Daddy, you're just like me, or Daddy, I'm just like you. And you know what? It turned out that way. But anyhow, let's get busy. I got those results in. I'm like, oh, interesting. Let me just let you guys know one thing. But we're all family, folks. We're all family. Anyhow, Michael Rudnin says, experts predict an alarming surge of U.S. COVID-19 cases this winter. I've been predicting a pretty bad winter wave again, and it looks like it's starting to happen. Peter Hortes, the Dean of National School of Tropical Medicine at Baylor College of Medicine. There's just too many unvaccinated and too many partially vaccinated people. Personally, I see this prediction coming like clockwork, as if people have completely forgotten that what happened last year. 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, we're going to see a major case spike with hospitalizations and deaths primarily among the still unvaccinated, as far too many of my fellow Americans have stopped caring about protecting their loved ones during an ongoing pandemic in favor of a tradition that right now will get a substantial number of them hospitalized or buried. I want to add a corollary to that, okay? And this came to me by one of you, actually, but I think it is important what one of you told me. One of you said to me, look, let's look at the data. It is true that this pandemic is killing a whole lot of people. But the people that it's killing are a whole bunch of obese people. 75 to 79% of people that are dying from COVID is based on comorbidities. And that major comorbidity is obesity. And you don't hear it being told in the media because, again, we all are politically correct. I think it is important for us to tell people going forward, please, folks, please, let's look at the numbers. Numbers never lie. Numbers never lie. Now, as far as what Hortes said, he's absolutely correct about the spike that's going to occur in going forward, likely after Thanksgiving. But of course, in an obese nation, that's what you get. Here's the other kicker, folks, and this is very important as well. It won't be as bad as it was last year, and the reason why is in as much as people will get infected, especially those people who are promoting the infection by not getting vaccinated and not creating that herd immunity. We have a whole lot more, what do you call them? We have a lot more therapeutics to take care of business for us. Here is the kicker though. We constantly talk about what the system is doing to us, what the pharmaceuticals are doing to us. And by us not getting vaccinated, by us not taking care of ourselves, by us not doing all the things that we could do, we're putting the pharmaceuticals right back in business to rip us all off. Because you know what they say? Hey, we make money the sicker you are. The more, as you can get more sick, as you can get sicker, we make more money. So folks, please, please, please get your vaccines. Please eat healthy. Please take your vitamins. Please do these things because people, I mean, if you get something like cancer and die, you get cancer, you die, that, you know, whatever. But this stuff about COVID, the problem with COVID is that you linger and you take resources. And you take resources from those who otherwise would have made it just fine. Okay, let me go to the second one from El Señor Michael Rodnin. Why are Americans so unhappy with Biden? Blame Biden's and the Democrats' poor messaging? Yes, it's awful. Even now, before most Americans have no idea what the Build Back Better package is. It sounds like infrastructure, but that bill has been enacted. Human infrastructure makes no sense to most people. 2 words, dashed hopes. Expectations could possibly be met when all the underlying structural problems were still with us, a nation deeply split. Trumpers, I prefer Trumpsters, but Trumpers still threatening democracy, racism rampant, corporate money still dominating much politics, inequality still widening, inflation undermining wage gains, and the Delta variant of COVID still claiming lives. Personally, I'd add the gridlock caused by Manchin, cinema, and obstructionist Republicans preventing necessary and during an ongoing pandemic-driven recession that's caused widespread economic suffering among the working class and middle class alike, as well as the inability to act upon the next threatening of accelerated global warming that's already begun. That's a very good snippet that you've got there, Michael Rudden. Very important. Last from Michael, I think. Articles offers a visual guide to the fossil fuel corporation's ongoing decades-long disinformation campaign. They did just like the tobacco company. Now they're Altria, trying to save your life, as they demonstrate a pattern of putting short-term financial gains above everything and everyone else. From the article, since the 1980s, fossil fuel firms have run ads touting climate denial messages, many of which they'd part because of ads. The fossil fuel industry has perpetrated a multi-decade, multi-billion-dollar disinformation, propaganda, and lobbying campaign to delay all climate action by confusing the public and policy makers about the climate crisis and its solutions. This has involved a remarkable array of advertisements with headlines ranging from lies they tell our children to oil pumps life, seeking to convince the public that the climate crisis is not real, not human-made, not serious, and not solvable. The campaign continues to this day. As recently as last month, 6 big oil CEOs were summoned to U.S. Congress to answer for the industry's history of discrediting climate science. Yet they lied under oath about it. In other words, the fossil fuel industry is now misleading the public about its history of misleading the public. What should we expect from the oil industry? Nothing else. Michael, I did it. I read every word of, minus the links, of course, that you put out there. And let me tell you why I read them all, Michael. Because those are 3 solid excerpts. And anybody who brings solid excerpts like Michael has, remember, this show is all yours. This show belongs to us all, and we want to inform each other. We want to educate each other. So when you have prescient information like that to bring it on. Paul Fleming, welcome aboard. I think I saluted you already. Eric Hayes says the kind of corruption is what is not right in any process, right? But this politician has been and continues to do this over and over again because of greed and power. You're not going to get an argument from me on that one, Hayes. What do you want me to do about it, sir? What I do is to make sure that I inform and try to encourage, empower those to go out there and act along with yours truly. Try Brave Browser, says AVQ. Eric Hayes says the LS3 plan would deny virtually everyone in Lake. Okay, first of all, let me get rid of that. Eric, if you're talking about the redistricting of Harris County, you won't get any satisfaction out of me whatsoever, because what is being done in the state of Texas, 95% of the growth in Texas was people of color. You know what they have to show for it? 0 districts that have a black majority, 0 and a dilution in districts with a Latino majority. Okay? So let's not talk about redistricting. If I were anybody in Harris County, I would make sure in Harris County not one Republican got elected if I could gerrymander it that way until the state behaves itself. That is what I would do, because right now our state is criminal in the way it is disenfranchising people. E2247, hello relatives. Masticator is back with us. Y'all don't forget to give Egberto money. Marxist propaganda ain't cheap. Actually, the data that I provide to all my great listeners is pretty damn cheap. People come in here at those people who sponsor us start sponsorship at a cup of coffee a month. So please, Masticator, it's nothing like what's going on the other side. And by the way, most, so I mean, and for those of you who support me with a cup of coffee or 2 cups of coffee or 3 cups of coffee a month, I work very hard to keep our media company going. And notice I didn't say to keep my media company going. I said to keep our media company going. And if anybody has watched us for more than 2 consecutive weeks, you have seen that you have played a big part in what we do here. Will the mandates hold up in court? We'll see. Para ver, let's see what else Masticator has to say if he wants to throw some more shade at Egberto. Bruce Pollard says, Cullen the Herd. AVQ says something like 70% of Americans are overweight, myself included. Look, I'm overweight. We're not talking about just being overweight. That's not what we're talking about, Michael Rudnin. We're talking about the chronically obese. My daughter went to a therapist who explained some of that as well. I think she kind of listens a little bit more when it comes from a third party, etc., etc. That's how kids are. I'm calling my daughter a kid. She's not a kid, but actually always my kid. Anyway, so that is what it really is, folks. I'm not talking about, hey, you're 5, 10, 15 pounds overweight. I'm talking about if you're massively overweight, and there's a reason why, comorbidities, etc. Eric A. says, Gilberto, aren't we in a better position with more vaccinated now and outlaw that had it? Yes, we are. Actually, we are. We are more. Tom C. says, Masticator, death is best immunity against COVID. All natural. Come on, Tom. You don't mean that, brother Tom. Let's see what else we got here. Eating healthy. I absolutely love lightly fried veggies. I love it. My daughter's an excellent cook. Even as she's recovering, she's been killing me with tasty food. We've reduced our portion sizes so that both of us can get healthier in our weights, respectively. Masticator says, everybody must get vaccinated, said the pharmaceutical CEO. Who is paying Egberto to agree with him? Nobody pays me. You guys, some of you support me. Hey, Masticator, are you a supporter? Because I don't know your real name. You're probably one of those closet people that are supporting me and saying, I don't want anybody to know. Right, Masticator? Anyway, Eric Hayes. Why look at the news? Even the politicians don't know what is in the bill right now. They don't know what's in the entire bill. You're correct about that. That's life. I don't know what's completely in my car, but I drive it. What can I say? E2247 says, our climate crisis demands indigenized thinking, not colonial logic. That's why I love you, E2247. You are not only philosophical, but you're pretty damn fact-based. And from what I understand from some reading earlier, the Iroquois would be some good ones to follow, those people who started with the Longhouse, right? BD Pollard. Bruce Pollard says, soon the fossil fuel industry will want to lease out solar energy harvesting on the moon. You know what? It's so funny. They are going to milk the solar stuff until they can get it. And then they'll take over the solar. All of us that are building a green infrastructure, they're going to buy it out with the money that they stole from us all. That's how it works. All right, let's see. AVQ, $4 per month is nothing that adds up. Thank you, AVQ, for telling people that. So why don't you go to politics? Why don't you go, folks, listen to AVQ. Just click on that. Just click on that join button on YouTube, or go ahead and click on politics, or rather, what is it? politicsandright.com/Patreon or politicsandright.com/PayPal. Let's keep this stuff going. Tom C says, yay, Breach and Michael are here again. Breach MCP is back. Where have you been, girlfriend? But I don't see you. He mentioned your name, but I don't see you, so you better send me a message now, Bridge. You know, your girl came on and said hi yesterday. Ashley came on and saluted the team yesterday. Show you that, guys, that she's on her way back. Our baby's on her way back. Let's see, what else we got here? Eric Hayes says, your messy car can't compare with the trillions in debt. Oh, God, Eric, stop it. Carl Cox, anti-vaccinators are the true definition of the village idiot. Carl Cox. You know, I try not to use those words. I try to empower and but, you know, I'm not going to argue with you. And Breach says, here I am. Masticator says, LOL, indigenous thinking. So you want less logic, more praying to the wind god? No, but I mean, right now, our capitalists pray to an invisible god that they really use to take advantage of people, right? Look, I'm sorry for what I just said. I'm not a Christian. I'm a humanist. But I respect Christians. My wife is a deacon, and I have the utmost respect for her. I don't believe in the things that she believes in, but I think she has the right to believe what she believes. And I've learned that in my older age. But anyhow, folks, today we're going to talk about media, right? And how confused Americans are getting. And I want to explore a Quinnipiac Poll to express that to us all. But beforehand, I'm going to play a video this video that you've got to see, and then we will take it en el otro lado. We'll continue thereafter. So check out Christie, and then we'll take it on the other side.
The book is called, it's about conspiracies and lies, and you really don't take on Fox News. Why not?
Look, because the book was because the book. No, I don't watch it, but the book.
Are you aware of what he does?
Not really. I don't pay a lot of attention to it.
It's a book with truth deniers, conspiracy theorists on the cover, and you attack CNN and the New York Times and MSNBC and not Fox.
But excuse me, I don't attack them as conspiracy theorists or truth deniers. I talk about bias.
And is bias more dangerous to the country than conspiracy theorists?
No, but that's the third section of the book,
where
I talk about the movement forward. In the center portion of the book, we talk about the conspiracy theories and the truth denying that went on with things like QAnon, Pizzagate, the election situation, John Birch Society, and that's what I talk about. There's two sections of the book, and I'm sure accidentally you're conflating them.
I'm not conflating them, but I don't think I don't think it's an intellectually honest case to make against conspiracy theories without taking on Fox News.
Well, listen, then you can write that in your book.
Well, I'm not trying to rescue the Republican Party.
I understand. Well, whenever you want to write your next book,
I guess my question is, you want to run for president. What's your relationship with Fox News going to be?
Well, first of all, I didn't say I wanted to run for president. You said that. So let's be clear about that.
Well, a lot of people have said that in the last 3 days. You haven't corrected any of them.
Well, I understand that.
You're pretty quick to jump in and correct the record.
No, what I've said is that I certainly will think about it, but I won't make any decision for at least another year.
Do you think that Fox News in prime time is good for the country or bad?
Listen, there are shows that I like in Fox News, and there's shows that I don't like. Like there are shows that I like here,
Are you afraid to question the purveyors of conspiracy theories and
By the way, but that's your opinion. You're welcome to your opinion, like everybody else in this country is welcome to your opinion. I don't consider people like Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham purveyors.
I didn't say either of their names.
Well, you said the evening news programs at Fox News.
The 8 p.m. hour.
And as I told you, I don't watch the show, so I don't know what Tucker does from night to night. If I watch anything at night in news, because most of the time I'm watching sports, but if I'm watching anything in news, I'm usually watching either Sean or Laura.
So you may or may not support Donald Trump in 2024. You may or may not run for president. And a book about liars and conspiracy theorists doesn't have anything to say about Fox News.
No, the book talks about, you continue to conflate it. And you know what?
I don't know how you talk about liars and conspiracy theorists without talking about Fox News. I was a Republican. I think they've done more damage to the party than anything else.
I'm sure you do. But if we want to go through that, I think there are liars and conspiracy theorists on MSNBC and on CNN also. So maybe I'll write a book about all that. But that's not what this book is about. In that section of the book, I'm talking to Republicans about the way I believe we need to deal with media to be most effective for winning. The conspiracy theorists and truth deniers, which nobody else on either side of the aisle is writing about right now, other than me. No one else is writing about that.
But do you want to solve them, is my question. If you want to solve the proliferation of conspiracy theories without dealing with Fox News, it's like solving terrorism without dealing with the terrorists.
Well, look, that's your opinion. I disagree with your opinion. And I don't believe, and I think it's irresponsible, Nicole, to analogize Fox News to terrorists.
I'm not analogizing them. I'm talking about root problems.
Well, no,
you write about being a prosecutor. And I want to understand what your solution is to the title of the book. It's about truth deniers and conspiracy. How do we purge the truth deniers and conspiracy theorists from the party? Yeah.
From our party. And it's by telling the truth to our voters.
Where?
To our voters.
Where do you do that?
Right in my book.
No, but where do you go? Where do you
go buy it? Go buy it. It's on sale today, and you can do it.
Where do you do it? Speeches? You do it in where do you?
Sure, I did it at the Reagan Library in September. I did it at the Republican Jewish Coalition just this past week, and every other place that I go, I will be talking about the fact that the Republican Party must once again be the party of truth, and if we do that, then we have a chance to be a winning party again, and if we don't, then we're going to be consigned to what happened to our party in the 30s when Herbert Hoover lost the House, the Senate, and the White House. The only other time it's happened in Republican Party history, and then we were out of the White House for 28 of the next 36 years. I don't want to see that happen to our country, and so that's why I'm speaking out. And I can't be responsible for everybody else, Nicole.
I hear you.
I can be responsible for myself, and that's what I'm doing by writing this book and by coming out and talking to you about it, even in a place where my opinion may not be completely welcome.
No, I appreciate that. And I think you are a straight shooter, and that's why you're here. I just think that if you care about the party, I think Liz Cheney cares about the party. I think you have to deal with the places that echo the mistruths and the conspiracy theories. And I'm not judging you for not. I'm just asking if you think that's part of the solution or could be.
And what I'm saying to you is the battles that I want to pick are the ones that I picked in that book. And there's no one else picking those battles. And so I'm going to take those on. And then if there's more to take on to make sure that the party is the party of truth and the party of solutions for citizens in this country, I'll take those on too, because I've never hesitated to do that.
The battles that I pick are the ones that I picked in the book. And in the book, I made sure not to say anything negative about the biggest conspirator in this country. Fox News and the people on Fox News. I make sure not to alienate them at all because I know I will need them for my presidential run. And if I ever alienate Fox News, how can that book be honest? How can that book be truthful if you don't specify that the cancer in this country comes from Fox News? And I am not going to only blame Fox News. Let me give you something that I saw on Twitter, and I didn't copy it or anything, so it's floating around somewhere. But Chuck Todd goes on, and he's during the signing of the infrastructure bill, it was a good event. Chuck Todd equated it to somewhat of a funeral. He didn't say funeral; he used another word. But here is somebody that is supposed to be on a progressive channel. That's what you guys like to call it. I'm talking about my right-wing brothers and sisters. A progressive channel, a liberal channel. And here Biden is signing a very important bill that's going to help a lot of people and make a whole lot of Republicans and Democrats rich. And he says, if this had happened in August, it would have been great. If this had happened in September, it would have been great. But it's happening in November, so it's like a funeral. What? You mean $1 trillion being spent 3 months out suddenly becomes a funeral as opposed to a joyous occasion? That is how our media changes the narrative and puts it into the psyche of many Americans. And many Americans see a television anchor, a television host, and they get their cues from these people. I am asking more people, please at least get some of the cues from yours truly, and from some others, Daily Kos, and from Op-Ed News, and from Common Dreams. Could you get some of your oomph from those of us in the independent media who actually tell the truth and tell you what's going on? Could you help us do that? And if you are listening to us, please remember, could you share our stuff? Could you support us the way the corporate structure supports the other side? Could you please? That is what we need. All right, Masticator says, LOL, indigenous thinking, so you want less logic. You know what? It's so funny. Here is my cell phone. Very technologically advanced, right? And there are still certain things that people indigenous can do without all the circuitry and complicated algorithms, which, by the way, I program algorithms and things like this as well, that they can do otherwise. You see, we have a tendency to believe that silicon technology is the only thing worthy. And if you believe that, that's a problem. Imagine, what are all these things to do? We use silicon to do fancy experiments to make our lives better. What if we could make our lives better with something else? And you know, a lot of societies think that that's a possibility. So I don't know, that is not a very good statement, sir. Tom C says, Egberto, double check, the United States had a 42% obesity rate and 70% of Americans are overweight. So yeah, there you go. That's a better number. And that's where the death, the 750,000 death comes from. Take out 25%, and that's where the number adds up. Bridge MCP says, hello all. Hello, Bridge. Tom, I am pretty much every weekday here, every weekday. Yes, you are, AVQ. Beep. Bruce says, arroz con pollo al Egberto. Que bueno. You've had my arroz con pollo, I think, Bruce. Actually, I think you had my arroz con pollo, and I think you had my arroz con codfish too. I think you had both of those. All right, let's see what else we got here. Eric A says, your messy car can't compare to trillions in debt. Okay, I hear you. All right, Masty, let's see what else we got here. COP26 goes out with a whimper. Yeah, but that Mia, I don't remember her last name, the Prime Minister of Barbados, that was a powerful speech, and more of us, I went ahead and I redid it yesterday. I hope you share it from my YouTube channel, youtube.com/EgbertoWillies. Share her speech. While we can't expect the top to decide, we can continue to make this stuff be grassroots. Grassroots. Congress is failing to pass the now watered down Build Back Better Act, which aims to fund social safety net programs and address. Yeah, and if you listen to the pieces that Michael Rudnin put out there, I mean, the messaging is amazing. But we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm kind of running out of time already, but I'm going to use a poll to show that stuff. Okay, in a little bit. Let me just keep answering or making note of your questions first. All right, Glasgow Pact slammed for betraying the global poor who suffer most for the climate emergency. Yeah, and they're the ones who did the least to create the climate emergency, like I stated in that video I'm asking you guys to share with Mia, the Prime Minister of Barbados. Eric A says, media is corrupt to the core. We agree, Eric. Bridge MCP says, missed Ashley? Ugh. Team Ashley just got into new house. I know. I hope you love your new house in upstate New York, my friend. Missed the show for a while, and we missed you. We surely missed you. Masticator said, ouch! Egberto let his mask slide down a little there to see a bit of his true face. The face of hate and hubris. Wow. Bridge, did you know I was hateful and had a whole lot of hubris? Wow. Didn't realize that, but you know what, Masticator? This hateful person with hubris still loves you and still wants you to be a part of the team that we can go move forward and get things done, brother. Okay, Masticator, we got a deal? All right, Bridge MCP, happy to see you here again. Missed you a lot, says E2247, Eric Hayes. Lee Grant, now how MSNBC has been banned from the Kenosha courthouse. How the hell does MSNBC get banned from the Kenosha court? Apparently one of their freelancers got too close to the jury. And if that is the case, I'm not going to argue with the judge who says, hey, you were trying to do that's wrong. So Lee, I don't know, were you trying for me to come to the defense of MSNBC, Lee Grant? Again, I am straight down, fact-based. Whatever is real, that's who I am, brother. So no, you're not going to see me doing that. Breeze, so no Fox? Seriously? No, Breeze, no Fox, man. No Fox. Breeze MCP also said, what? All right, Breeze says, wait, he just said he doesn't watch, but if he does watch anything, he watches Fox. He lies, yeah. Michael Rodney, Lee Grant never looks at the details to any story. Last night, a freelancer received a traffic citation. While the traffic violation took place near the jury van, the freelancer never contacted or intended to contact the jurors during the deliberations and never photographed or intended to photograph them. We regret the incident and will fully cooperate with the authorities. Yeah, we don't know enough of the story But you and I and all of us both know how the media operates. I mean, I'm the media also, and I do all kinds of stuff to get close to the protagonist. Would I have tried to get close to the jury if I were out there in Kenosha to somehow get an upper hand? The truth of the matter, I just might have done that too, right? And then if for some reason they excommunicated me for that thing, so be it. But that is what we do in the media, try to get us close up to the story without altering the gist of the story. AVQ says, I'm kind of glad that FB posts to switch are fully viewed. No 200 character limit as YouTube has. Let's see what else we got here. We got maybe Democrats should learn from FDR and spend on the needs of the people via Build Back Better. Yeah, maybe they should also learn how to market, as you said before. We're going to talk about that. Of course, that would require overcoming Manchin cinema. Hey, Egberto, maybe we should statehood ad for Democratic senators. I know. You know, it's so funny because my daughter and I was talking not about Puerto Rico statehood, but about D.C. And I was saying, yeah, the reason why, and we realized that it only can happen in Congress, but we realized that would be too likely 2 Democratic senators. And that's a big fight right now. Tom C. says fake news. For the 10th year in a row, misinformation was the winner of the annual Facts Not News beauty contest. Misrepresentation was the runner-up. Misinterpretation came in third. Good one. Good one. Masticator, if you are watching Tucker Carlson at least 3 times a week, you're not getting any truth. He is spot on in his narrative. If you're not watching Tucker Carlson, wow. You worry me, Masticator. Yvette Avery Herod, welcome aboard to Politics Done Right. Yvette, you were the star today on KPFT 90.1 FM Houston. I didn't get a chance to do the blog, but you were on air between 1 Eastern and 2 Eastern, being interviewed by the one and only Rabi Kavan. So I think you were 29 minutes of the show on air in Houston and throughout the Pacifica network, which will be percolating throughout. So you gave a hell of an interview, my dear friend. AVQ, any pundit with a history of lying to the people isn't worth listening to anymore. That includes nearly all from Fox, but there's also a couple from MSNBC. Agreed. Masticator, so explain what exactly is indigenous thinking and how does that benefit us? Go look up an encyclopedia, my brother. Patricia E. Farker, peaceful thinking. Thank you, Patricia. Love you, girl. Eric Hayes, wasn't Biden sleeping in Glasgow meetings? Or yeah, he was. You know, I mean, to tell you the truth, I took my daughter to PT today and different kind of therapists today. And when she came out of there, she had to wake this old man up because I was fast asleep. So I am not going to hold it against Biden if I don't hold it against myself. All right, Masticator, 7% of Tucker Carlson's facts check come back false or pants on fire. We all know that. Thank you very much for pointing that out. And you worry me, Egberto, says Masticator. Yvette Avery Harris said, thanks for that, Egberto. No, thank you for being that that person that's going to help America unionize and do as they should. But anyway, I'll have that the blog piece for the show out that we did on KPFT sometime tonight, that if you want to share it around, you can. Rose Williams, hello. Lee Grant says, keep an eye on Kenosha. Stuff about to hit the fan. Free Kyle and give him his gun back. Lee Grant, you don't believe that, do you? The guy just killed 2 people with an AK-45, AK-47, all right? AK-15. AR-15, just got corrected. AR-15 from the daughter. AR-15, okay? He opened big holes into somebody's body. 2 human beings lost their lives. You shouldn't be having things like free Kyle or anything like that. You should be saying, put Kyle in a psych ward for thinking that he's going to be a militia guy walking out there. Come on, man. You're better than that, Brother Grant. You're better than that. Come on. All right, folks, let's go ahead and go to the Quinnipiac poll. Let me put that on the screen for you. All right, this is what got to me, okay? More prefer, this is the outcome of the latest Quinnipiac poll. More prefer Republicans to win control of the House and the Senate. Quinnipiac University National Poll. 68% say higher prices or changing spending habits. I want to read some of this to you because this is fascinating. With election day in the interview mirror and both political parties setting their sights on the 2022 midterms, election, plurality of Americans say to this election they want to support Republican Party control of both the House and the Senate. That's what they want. That is what they want. Americans say 46 to 38%. An 8-point differential. And by the way, the Republicans already have a 6 to 7 point margin. In other words, they can lose the popular vote by 6 to 7% and still win the House because of gerrymandering. Okay? So we're talking about a swing of about 15 or 16 points. That is a landslide in the House if that were to occur. Okay? For the Republicans. But I want to show you, the title of the show today was, Are Americans Confused? To which I have to say, yes. And why do I say that? Remember, they said, I want to read the part that says, Americans, says 46 to 40%, they would like to see Republican Party in control. Among registered voters, 46 to 41% say they would like to see Republican control the Senate. Okay. Among Republicans, 61% say they would be more likely to vote for a candidate who strongly embraces former President Trump. 61%. Wow. That's how Republicans, okay? In an open-ended question allowing for any answer, Americans were asked what they thought was the most important problems facing the country. And here are the answers in the order. Division and polarization. I love that they consider that a very big problem. The second one, 10% says the economy. 8% says immigration. 8% says inflation. American asked which party would be best in handling the problem mentioned. The plurality, 46% say Republicans. Okay, I want you guys to understand this. They say Republicans. All right. A slight majority of Americans, 52%, say the Democratic Party has moved too far to the left. 6% say it has moved too far to the right. And 34% says it hasn't moved too far in either direction. A plurality, 43% say the Republican Party hasn't moved too far in either direction. 35% say it's moved too far to the right. 13% says it moved too far to the left. So that is bad for Republicans in that 35% says it moved too far to the right, while when it comes to the people who said it's moved to the left, it's not that much. I think it was for the Democrats, it was it wasn't that much. But anyhow, in President Biden, Americans give President Biden a negative 36 to 53% job rating. That's amazing. In today's results, Republicans disapproved 94 to 4. Democrats approve 87 to 7. Independents disapprove 56-29. Again, that is not what freaked me out, however. A majority, listen to what freaks me out about this poll to show if Americans are confused or not. And again, numbers, you guys know the only thing I believe in is numbers. Only things I believe in are numbers. A majority, 57 to 37%, support the roughly $1 trillion spending bill to improve the nation's roads, bridges, broadband, and other infrastructure projects. It's a dip since October, but it's still, which it was at 62%, a 5-point dip, but it's still not a plurality, a majority. But it gets even better. A majority, 58% to 38%, supports the roughly $2 trillion spending bill on social programs such as child care, education, family tax breaks, and expanding Medicare for seniors. Let's stop right there. Vamos a parar ahorita mismo, ahí mismo. That tells me, 1, Americans are very confused. 2, Americans are very uninformed. And 3, Democrats better get their butts off and start fighting with fire with fire. What am I saying here? Check this out. The bipartisan bill received only 19 Republicans. 19 Republicans supported the bipartisan infrastructure bill that's going to help people from Appalachia right to the south, to the east, to the west. Democrats, every single one of them supported the infrastructure bill on the Senate side. And on the House side, the only folks that objected to the bill was the squad for objective reasons. All right? Now, so what we're saying here, you want the Republicans to take over to support policies that, with the expectation that they're going to support policies you want that they have already told you they don't want to have a damn thing to do with it. Is that confusion? Is that shooting yourself in the foot? But it gets worse. Worse. 58 to 38. In other words, we want the Build Back Better bill. We want it. We want those kids taken care of. We want Medicare expanded. We want all those things that Republicans say they are against. We don't only want it, we want it by a large majority. And we think that after this bill passes in 2022, we are going to elect Republicans who are somehow now going to support these bills that they completely disagree with, that they call socialism. You want the policies in these bills. According to the poll, look, these are the same people being polled. I want you to get that in our cráneos. These are the same people being polled. It's 45, 48, and I haven't asked for my ask yet. So what I'm going to do is do my ask. I'm going to keep the Texas Free story for tomorrow. And what I'm going to do is go through with my ask, and then we'll take it, we'll explain these dichotomies between the American thought process and what to do about it. And I think a lot to do about it has to do with some of the stuff that Michael Rudnin actually mentioned it above before. But anyhow, folks, please, if you are on YouTube, please click that join button. Please click that join button and become a part of our PDR posse. Lee Grant, I see you there. You can click that join button, become a part of the PDR posse. Oh, AVQ says you got to run. Hey, thank you for being here, and thank you for all that information you brought in. If you don't see that join button, please go to YouTube, politicsandright.com/YouTube, politicsandright.com/YouTube, and become a part of the posse. Just click on that stuff, and it'll give you I'll give you a little speech and ask you to join. You can also support us at Patreon, politicsandright.com/Patreon. Patreon is spelled P-A-T-R-E-O-N. P-A-T-R-E-O-N. politicsdoneright.com/Patreon. Alternatively, you can support us using PayPal, either a one-time support, or you can do monthly, however you prefer. politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. Please consider getting our hoodies or hats or books, whatever, at our store, politicsdoneright.com/store. But you can go ahead and get all our books at Amazon, including getting a group of them together by going to politicsdoneright.com/politicsdoneright.com/books. You can find our all-encompassing support at politicsdoneright.com/support. politicsdoneright.com/support. Okay, let me go back and answer some of those questions, and then we'll go ahead and close this baby out. Okay, let's see what I got here. Masticator said the same PolitiFact just caught line. No, I think, whoa, you guys had a lot of messages in there. Let's see what I've got here. And you were me, Egberto. All right. Keep eye on Kenosha. We'll keep our eye. Hi, Rose Williams. ABQ says Lee Grant supporting a murderer and terrorist, demonstrating a broken moral compass, according to ABQ about Lee Grant. Patricia E. Forker says, oh no, you got me started. Okay, Patricia E. Forker, I've got you started. Eric A. says you're frozen. I don't think so. Refresh your screen. Masticator says indigenous thinking is a more interconnected and spiritual relationship with our fellow beings, Mother Earth, and the natural way of the universe. So you want us all to believe in indigenous... Oh boy. We'll take that some other time. Patricia says, what parent knowingly transports an illegally armed minor over state lines? Thank you. Masticator says, the same PolitiFact just caught line. Bruce says, lunar eclipse tonight. Didn't know that. 97% total at 3 a.m. I'll be asleep. No, actually, I may be awake. That's 2 p.m. Eastern. AVQ says, Masticator, don't expect fact checkers to be perfect. Fact checkers are correct much more often than they're not. So that's true. Eric Hayes says, Egberto, look at the approvals on the administration, 30% and going lower. What crisis haven't they made worse? They have made no crisis work, but I tell you what they are. They're terrible communicators. Pelosi said BBB vote may be tonight. We heard that before. Yes, we have. Love AVQ. According to Masticator, AVQ says typed. Let's see what else I got here. Eric Hayes says, Egberto, why are so many them saying they won't run for re-election? Because they expect a bloodbath. That's the reason why. I mean, I got to be honest. They expect a bloodbath. I think this stuff can be turned around as soon as Americans learn the truth that if they vote Republicans in, all the benefits that they've accrued under brother Biden will be gone. Carl Cox says, why are so many Republicans not running for re-election? Same reason they don't want to serve under a nut. Lee Grant says, armed person arrested outside courthouse during third day of Rittenhouse deliberation in Kenosha. Well, hitting the fan. Stuff is hitting the fan. Catch you tomorrow, says ABQ. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Tom C says, maybe some Dems are tired of Republican harassment and death threats. That's true. More people respect a fighter than a wimp. Carl Cox, you hit the nail on the head. Democratic politicians need to fight and not worry about wealthy donors. Sometimes you think they're lazy, right? Because grassroots is hard work. But if you follow the method that people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Cory Bush out of Missouri, Cory Bush out of Missouri. If you follow their way of dealing with their constituency, you would find out that it is not at all difficult at all to really reach your constituents. But you see, a lot of these people are too highfalutin. They don't realize that they serve the constituents. They don't realize they are there to serve the constituents. But we're coming close to the end of the show. And I want to show, in talking about the delusion of the American populace, you can't say progress. You support the policies that the current administration is putting out there. By a large majority, you're supporting, these are the policies you want. The people that you claim you want to see in power are those who either didn't vote for it, or say they will repeal it, or simply take your money and give it to the wealthy. It makes no sense. And what we have to do, in my humble opinion, as informed constituents, as informed neighbors, as informed people who care, we can't just throw our hands up in the air and say those people are nincompoops, those people are stupid. We can't do that. We have to do what I've always said we have to do. And that is, we have got to engage. We have got to engage folk and respectfully point out why what they're saying, the way they're coming across, simply isn't the best, if you will. And you don't do that by saying you're stupid. You do that by asking questions. And I mean, I do it. On this show, I don't think you will ever have heard me call any of the persons that are saying something that I think is, maybe, foolish, stupid, or anything like that. It's not going to happen here. Because I want, first and foremost, for them to listen. I had coffee with Eric Hayes a few months ago before I left Houston. Eric, I think you remember that. I think we had a very constructive conversation. And it's the kind of conversation I would have with any of you. Absolutely with any of you. So So it is important. Oh, I forgot it's ahead, Bruce. You're right. It's 4. I'll be sleeping. But so the task for all of us here. When I saw that poll, I wanted to pull the hair out of my head that I didn't have. Because the people are saying, we want what the Democrats are offering, but we don't like the way things are looking, so we're going to vote Republican. That is one of the easiest way to keep us on the path of income inequality, wealth disparity, indentured servitude, and all of that. It is our job, those of us in the know, to continue to push on, to continue to try. Folks, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to give me that thumbs up. Please, give me that thumbs up so we can make sure this algorithm works for us. So if you're on YouTube right now and you haven't yet given us a thumbs up, please give us a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube as well, please go ahead and ring that bell so that the next time we show up live, you'll get a bell ring. Ding! Egberto and Politics and Right is live. Please do the same thing on Facebook. You can go ahead and ring the bell. You have to put it in full screen mode and ring the bell so that when we are going live, you can actually see it. But I want you to share this program. I am likely going to, I need you to share this program because this is serious stuff. This is very serious stuff. All right, let me get back to my good old piece here. Tom C. says, Eric Hayes, maybe some Dem reps are tired of Republican resentment. Carl Cox, more people respect the fighter. I read that already. Masticator says, Biden didn't make the border of Afghanistan worse. Don't believe your lying eyes. No, he just made it what it was. It's what it is. What is your opinion of DeSantis? DeSantis is a criminal clown that I think killed a lot of his people. That's my thoughts about DeSantis, Eric Hayes. He murdered a lot of his people. Care and respect, says Patricia Parker. Eric Hayes says it was good. It was good. I imagine you mean sitting down and having some coffee with somebody you disagree with. Probably 60% of the times. Yeah, we should do coffee again. Whenever I get back to Houston, we'll go out for coffee again, Eric. In fact, I'd love to. I told Lee Grant the same thing. I think Lee Grant is in some part of Houston as well. I go out with both my liberals and my conservatives. We all break bread together. Masticator said, whoa, Eric is breaking bread with a hard Marxist. Tell me, Eric, how much of everything you love being destroyed before you understand who is your enemy? You see, that's what they want you to believe, Masticator. You're not my enemy. You're a victim of those who would make you my enemy. And someday I may be able to prove that to you. So you can throw the hate out. Eric didn't. Eric sat down, talked. We disagreed on a few things. He thought about a whole lot of stuff we're thinking about. He tried to fight back a lot of times. That's what it's all about. Carl Cox, a vote for a conservative is a vote for dictatorship. And Biden did make it worse. No, he didn't. Tom C, we can disagree without being enemies. And that's why your piece was so important that I played on KPFT, Tom C. And actually, it was a very popular piece on KPFT. A lot of people actually told me they were happy that I played your segment on national radio, on KPFT 90.1 FM Houston, and it percolates throughout the network. So that was some good work. Eric Hayes, nope, I talk to all people. I'm glad to hear that, Eric. And look, it's time for me to get the hell out of here. I want to ask you one more time, una vez más, please remember to go to, please, if you're on YouTube, please click that join button. Become a part of our posse. If you don't see that join button, just go to politicsandright.com/YouTube, politicsandright.com/YouTube. Also, you can support us at politicsandright.com/Patreon, politicsandright.com/Patreon. Politicsandright.com/PayPal is another way. But the all-encompassing, first, get my books, please. You help the program by getting the books, but you also learn a lot from the books, politicsandright.com/books. Buy the hoodie at our stores or all the t-shirts, etc. politicsandright.com/store. And if you want to find all the different ways in which you can help Politics and Right keep this stuff on air, go to politicsandright.com/support. Again, you could be anywhere, but you're here with me, so I thank you so kindly for being here with me. I could not do this without you. I couldn't do it without you. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you know how I end this baby. I am what? Out! We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.